It's week 34 of A Year of Wisdom. Let's get to reading. Day 234. Job 31. I made a covenant with my eyes, so how could I look closely upon a virgin? And what is the portion of God from above, or the heritage of Shaddai from on high? Is not disaster for the evil one and ruin for the workers of mischief? Does he not see my ways and count on my steps? If I have walked with falseness and my foot has hastened to deceit, let him weigh me in the balance of justice, and let God know my blamelessness. If my steps have turned aside from the way, and my heart has walked after my eyes, and my hand has clung to a spot, let me sow and let another eat, and let my crops be rooted out. If my heart has been enticed by a woman, and at my neighbor's doorway I have lain in wait, let my wife grind for another, and let other men kneel over her. For that is a shameful act, and that is a criminal offense. Indeed, that is a fire that will consume up to Abaddon, and it would uproot all my crop. If I have rejected my male or female slave's case when their complaint was against me, then what shall I do when God rises up? And when he inquires, how shall I answer him? Did not he who made me in the womb make them? And did not one fashion us in the womb? If I have withheld the desire of the poor from them, or I have caused the widow's eyes to fail, or I have eaten my morsel alone, and the orphan has not eaten from it? For from my childhood he grew up with me like a father, and from my mother's womb I guided her. If I've seen the one who perishes because of no clothing, or that there is no covering for the poor, if his loins have not blessed me, or by means of my sheep's fleece he has warmed himself, if I've raised my hand against an orphan because I saw my supporters at the gate, then let my shoulder blade fall from my shoulder, and let my arm be broken from its socket. Indeed, the disaster from God was a dread for me, and I was powerless because of his majesty. If I've made gold my trust, or I have called fine gold my security, if I've rejoiced because my wealth was great, or because my hand found a fortune, if I looked at the sun when it shone, or at the moon moving in splendor, and I was secretly enticed, and my hand threw them a kiss, this also is an iniquity to be judged, for I have deceived God above. If I have rejoiced at the ruin of the one who hated me, or have exulted when evil overtook him, no, I have not allowed my mouth to sin to ask his life with a curse. Have the people of my tent not said, "Oh, that someone had not been satisfied with his meat"? An alien has not lodged in the street. I've opened my door to the traveler. Have I concealed my transgressions as other human beings, to hide my iniquity in my bosom, because I dreaded the great multitude, and the contempt of clans terrified me, so that I kept quiet? I did not go out of the doorway. Oh, that I had someone hearing me. Here's my signature. Let Shaddai answer me. As for the written communication that my adversary has written, I would surely carry it on my shoulder. I would bind it on me like a crown. I would give him an account of my steps. I would approach him like a noble. If my land has cried out against me, and its furrows have wept together, if I've eaten its yield without payment, or I've caused the breath of its owners to die, let thorns grow in the place of wheat, and noxious weeds in place of barley. The words of Job are ended. Proverbs 22. A reputation is to be chosen rather than great riches. Favor is better than silver and gold. Rich and poor have much in common. Yahweh is maker of all of them. The clever sees danger and hides, but the simple go on and suffer. The reward of humility is the fear of Yahweh, wealth and honor and life. Thorns and snares are in the way of the perverse. He who guards himself will keep away from them. Train the child concerning his way. Even when he is old, he will not stray from it. The rich will rule over the poor, and the borrower is a slave to the lender. He who sows injustice will reap calamity, and the rod of his anger will fail. He who is generous will be blessed, for he gives to the poor from his own bread. Drive out a scoffer, and strife will go out. Quarrel and abuse will cease. He who loves purity of heart and has gracious speech, his friend is the king. The eyes of Yahweh keep watch over knowledge, but he will overthrow the words of the faithless. A lazy person says, "A lion in the street. In the middle of the highway I shall be killed." A deep pit is the mouth of an adulteress. He with whom Yahweh is angry will fall there. Folly is bound up in the heart of a boy. The rod of discipline will drive it from him. He who oppresses the poor in order to enrich himself or gives to the rich will come to poverty. Incline your ear and hear the words of the wise. You shall apply your heart to my teaching. For it is pleasant if you guard them within you. Together they will be ready upon your lips. In order for your trust to be in Yahweh, I have made them known to you today, even you. Have I not written for you 30 sayings with abominations and knowledge? In order to show you what is right, sayings of truth, in order to return a true saying to him who sent you. Do not rob the poor because he is poor, and do not crush the afflicted at the gate. For Yahweh will plead their case and despoil those who despoil them of life. Do not befriend an owner of anger, and with a man of wrath you shall not associate, lest you learn his way and become entangled in a snare to yourself. Do not be with those who give a pledge by becoming surety. If there is nothing for you to pay, why will he take your bed from under you? Do not remove an ancient boundary marker which your ancestors made. A man who is skillful in his work you shall see. Before kings he will serve. He will not serve before the commoners. And as always, thank you so much for being here today. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button right there if you would. And click the bell if you want to get notifications for the next video. And if you wouldn't mind, hit that like button for me as well. And I will see you tomorrow. Maranatha.
I'm lost without a clue. I need a big pink neon sign to show me what to do. I thank you, Lord. It glorifies you when you're the only answer. I praise you, Lord, for holding what's too much for me. And I'm amazed by you, Lord, because nothing's too big and nothing's too small to lay at your feet.